Hello, I'm back. It's Slay the Spire now. I was not as excited about level 1 inscription today, and I'm still digging Slay the Spire, so that's what we're gonna do. I think I may move my camera just a moment here. Alright, because that will let me, I'm not covering up my options here. Let's get HP. So, I'm playing as the champ, who's one of the bosses, and we're going to go down the spire, and then we're going to beat up on the Ironclad, who is the boss hero for this turn, or this act. I like to go to the store pretty early because you often need to fight the merchant a few times to be able to beat them and get all of their loot. So, why don't we do this way? So I don't need to rest because I have all my hit points. I'm going to get the ruby key because the ruby key, when you break it, you can get strength. And that's very good for this character. This is big knight friend. So, knight starts in Berserker this time. And I'm going to bounce between stances, which will give me Vigor, means my next attack does extra damage, and Counter says the next time you receive attack damage, deal 7 damage back. So I'm going to block here, and then I'm going to do 13 damage, which means I can just outright defeat one of those enemies. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller here. Camera, little bit smaller, so that I'm not covering up the champ. And then I do my finisher. So, first fights tend to be very easy. Gain 2 block and scry, and it counts as a technique. Yeah, let's try it out. I have not done that one before. Alright, so I've got 11 attack coming in. I'm going to do that much block. It's going to give me Vigor. Then I'm going to do a big hit. So I'll take 1 damage here. And there's defensive and berserker, so I can do this. So first I'm going to gain block and scry. That's the only thing we have left in our deck. I want to use it, so that's fine. And defensive shout gives us counter, and then back into berserker. Now this attack is going to do extra. I don't need to defend because they're not attacking. A little jaw worm. And now we're going to do this first because completing a finisher gives us bonus strength. And I don't have enough damage to defeat them, so I'm going to get some block, take a little bit of damage, do some counter back. I could have taken a more conservative approach there and not done my finisher, but I'll be fine. Yeah, that's okay. The battle plan is free, which is very good. And that's enough damage to defeat. We get a skill potion. Gain 7 block and gain 2 temporary strength, or gain 4 block, gain 4 counter, and if we're in defensive combo, increase these effects by 3 this combat. Block and counter. I'm going to go for the block and temporary strength. So we're in Berserker. Let's do that. Next time, I do want block because they're going to attack. So I'm going to get rid of that. It won't take very long to draw it back up. So this one, and then this one, and then we're going to do a big hit. And that gives us some vigor for next time. Alright, so they're doing damage. Now I'll gain block, and I'm going to gain block again, which means that this last attack does more damage, but they had 30 block. So I'm going to weather their attack, and then I'm going to try to wail on them for a couple turns before they run away. Alright, so battle plan. Actually, I'm fine with all of those. So we're going to execute, which gives us strength, and then we're going to go right back into Berserker stance and attack. Because doing a finisher takes you out of your stance, but certain finishers, if you see the little fist thing, it says if this is a finisher where you're leaving a stance, then you're going to gain this bonus. So 2 temporary strength is not worth the not attacking, because I have 3 strikes here. So we're just going to do 1, 2, 3 strikes. So we did 47 damage on the merchant, who now runs away. And I get to recruit another card. We already have an adrenal armor. This turn, your skill bonus effects are increased by 2. Interesting. Precise thrust basically gets extra damage if you're berserker, gives block if you're in defensive, which is pretty good. I was considering the other one, but I accidentally clicked. So I've got 115 souls, like I'm in Dark Souls. And what I've got here, defend and block. I'm going to get rid of one of these blocks because I have other cards that give me a block. And I would rather be drawing the better ones more frequently. Cursed Regret. I do want a relic. Extra draw is pretty good. Now, unfortunately, extra draw synergizes with regret in a bad way because I'm going to have more cards. But not a problem this time. And I can, when I scry, I can just say discard regret, and then it won't show up in my hand. So we do armor, and then I'm going to do the execute, and then I'm going to do this again. So we have the armor to not take damage from this, and we gain some strength. We did not gain strength. Why did we not gain strength? Oh, we must have gained block as the finisher combo bonus, which is fine because then we didn't take damage. I'm okay with that. So precise thrust, now we're in Berserker, so it's going to deal 20 damage. Ponk ponk. That one's down. So now we switch stances and defend. We'll take a little bit of damage, but do counter. Over the weekend, I was kind of pondering to myself, do I want to get Tunic and play Tunic on stream? Do I want to get Norco and play it? Because I've been hearing very good things about it. I have not, as of yet, done either of those things. Norco is a, I would call it like a fabulous Southern Gothic adventure game, based on how it's been described to me. And some of the critics that I follow have been very positive on it. Tunche. Cute. Okay, the name Tunche, or however we pronounce it, rings a bell. Tunic does seem fun. The story stuff is all like very subtle by my understanding, because it's like, what if a Zelda game had some elements of Dark Souls? But I think it would probably, Tunic would be a, Tunche, okay. I think Tunic would be a good stream game because it's filled with secrets. So you're rewarded for like poking around in corners, and it's got cute visuals. So I think that is currently leading. I was interested in playing, can I do this? So gain block, temporary strength, would mean doing 8 damage 2 times. If I execute and then precise thrust, I will gain block. No, because I won't be combo anymore. Okay, so let's do this and then this. That's better. It does not look like anything like Inscription. I did, I think, change the stream category because I played Inscription earlier and wasn't feeling it, so I decided to tab over. I can probably do... I can just do this. Because I remembered how to have the docs up in my OBS. How's it going, the Rising Tithes? Good to see you. Let's just drop all of these, honestly. We get this, and we're going to do that. And then we're going to hit you like that. And take a little bit of damage. But we've gained a fair bit of that. So we gain bonus strength, so we do extra damage, and that's that. Defensive Thesis. The defensive stance's finisher grants 5 more block. Cool. Gain 12 block, gain 12 counter, gain 1 blur. Cool. Remove the enemy's block, deal damage. Well, I think I should get that rare, especially because I just picked up that Defensive Thesis item. Pot stickers! Very nice. Let's get the Gremlin Horn here, because extra action and card will be very powerful for us. And we don't need to rest, I don't think. Possibly Famous Last Words. 17 block and 16 counter, or 9 block and 4 temporary strength, or that goes up to 9 of anything. Go to 9 damage. Leveling, or upgrading the shouts, I think, is also good because it just doubles the amount of stuff that you get for them. So let's say we'll upgrade the Berserker Shout. But as I add cards to my deck, I need to make sure to add more things that will let me get into stances. Otherwise, I'll just be stuck out of stances for a while. So block here, and then execute, and then this, but then I will lose some hit points because of the regret. Hey, accessing PayPal is very nice. I'm sorry that there were bank shenanigans. Just take you out, get some block, you don't need any of that, and defend, and now we do the damage. So, entering Berserker, so that we have the ability to cycle through our stances. Okay, so this enemy doesn't attack right away. That means that I have the opportunity to build up some buffs. I don't have any powers, which would be a good thing to play, because they, like, each power you play lasts the whole combat. But I do have stuff here where I can just kind of bounce between my stances and then throw a big hit on them, which I think is what I will do. Vigor, bob and weave, and then I only have 1 strike, so let's do Adrenal Armor, and now we hit for 25, which is pretty good. And let's see. There is a tiny log over here that you may be able to see. The log dog companion. He's just kind of sleeping with his head pointed toward the corner because he's a fun weirdo. Gain some block and scry, get rid of regret. I want to keep that because that'll be great. And then that, and that. But now I don't have the block. I get this, and then I can play it for free because it's from a potion. Your HP cannot be reduced until your next turn. So they would do 18, and I just go and lose nothing, which is very cool. All right, so now I can do hold firm. Let's do defensive shout, hold firm, and precise thrust gives me more block. So I will not take anything here. Just the 2 from the regret, because that card is annoying. I will try to get rid of it as soon as I can. So we can execute, but gain block. I don't need to gain block this time, so I'm gonna bob and weave, and then gain more vigor, and now execute, which will finish the fight. Very nice. Yeah, building up all of that strength and attack bonus is gonna be, that's very handy. Trigger skill bonus for each enemy hit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and try that one. I don't think I've taken it before. Just gonna keep on exploring some options here. Lantern, it's pretty good, but I'll take the Sapphire key here. You want to spend souls and break keys, and then they give you bonuses. And if you've broken all of the keys, then you can fight the, basically, fight the end boss. 7, 2, 4, yeah, so it's not worth it to do the adrenal armor here. Strike, strike, strike. Then I'm going to use this energy drink, which muddles the 2 highest cost cards in your hand. There's a chance that these become 0, in fact. And then I do strike because otherwise I would have lost more hit points from regret. So this is the Goblin Knob. They are very strong, as you can tell from their 8-pack, 10-pack, or whatever, this ab situation going on here. Now, this enemy is rough because whenever I play a skill, this enemy will gain 2 strength. A lot of my special stuff is skills here, which is rough. So we'll encircle. Hold firm. Yeah, let's just leave it there because I don't want to give them too much more strength. I want to be able to defeat them before their strength ticks up so much that I'm unable to handle it. So if I do an attack here, if I do this execute, it will get me block, which is great. And then if I do this, and then this, no, I meant to do a different thing. That's fine, I have enough block. I should have done one of those and then attacked. And I think I would have. I think a lot of what makes this game work the way that it does is that you can see the intents. There is an artifact, there's a relic you can take that means that you no longer can see the enemy's intents. And what people tend to say about that is, 1, it makes things tricky, but 2, if you know how that enemy behaves, you can have a pretty good sense of the types of things that the enemy can do, and you can still plan for it. I've not tried to use that relic because it seems like it would just be frustrating to not know. I think it would create a new / different challenge. Right now, having perfect information means that you can plan, and it's more likely that if you misunderstood something, like that if you do poorly, it's because you misunderstood or did not make a good plan versus, oh, actually you guessed wrong and now you're just getting punished for it. That's been my experience. You use a skill, well, that sounds pretty good. Mirror strike. All right, fight, there, fight. I probably should get some health here. So we're going to gain dexterity, which improves our block. Nope. Rest. Because the ironclad is going to be tough. They are rough. So if I lose 12 max HP, then I can get an item that gives me a crystal shiv at the start of every turn. Which is... That gets me down to 76 max HP. Yeah, let's go for it. Free attack every turn could be pretty cool for this character. Okay, that's the downside. There's this regret where I'm not going to be able to play every one of these cards, right? Battle plan. Just get rid of the strike. And never use a skill, so use a skill. Yeah, I guess I'll just hold on to the murder strike, right? Because right on. It's pretty funny. All right, backstep is good here. Stance is also good. Choose a stance to enter. If you're already in that stance, gain a combo of that stance. Gain 6 block increased by vigor. So vigor is the thing you get from the berserker stance. Toggling between the stances can be really powerful, as evidenced here. So I'm in defensive. I'm gonna get block, and then well, I want to just use everything that I have, because otherwise because I'm going to lose hit points if I don't. Trigger skill bonus, extra defensive, so that increases my counter. I'm going to wait on using my energy potion, because I could get the extra energy and use those 2 other cards, but I don't know that it does enough for me in this fight. So this is the champion belt, which is a relic you can get as the hero. This is the champion. So that's why the character said, do you want this belt back? Battle plan. Let's get rid of that strike. So we're going to execute, which gives us a bunch of block, and now right back into stance. And attack. You are going to do 20 damage versus 18 block. So let's just not take anything here. So they're piling some nasty stuff onto my deck. So this is 11 damage. It's not a whole lot. They are only blocking this turn, so I will go ahead and use that big hit, and then hit them with the shiv as well. So whenever the ironclad generates a status card like that wound, a duplicate is added to my discard pile. So they do things that would be hurting them mostly, but now they hurt me as well. So that's just an extra attack. Let's gain some block. Do that. Just attacking a bunch. So this is a boss fight, so as long as I don't die, I will get to heal back up. And maybe I would have actually been okay. Alright, so we do this, then we do this, then we do this. So that stacking those in the right order gave me more vigor and more counter. Yes, the champ plays very differently than the gremlins. Something I like about this kind of collected mod set is that each of the new classes really play differently from one another, and that makes the game feel like there's a lot to it. The 4 main classes in the core game do play pretty differently from each other, but the gremlins are more different because they're the only character that is actually 5 characters. All right, so we attack twice here, and we don't quite have enough health or damage to do in one, but we have the Shiv, so we finish off the Ironclad. And now we get a rare reward. Choose a card, it costs 0 this combat. So I could use that on Execute or Hold Firm or Murder Strike. That could be pretty handy. It's more powerful for a longer fight. Enchant Sword, choose a card in hand, increase its damage by 8 for this combat, or deal 8 damage 2 times, gain weak, but if you're in Berserker, you don't gain weak. Let's see, what could I increase? So I could use the Magic Sword on Execute, which would add not 8, but 16 damage. It's the only... Adding 8 to Encircle would be pretty good. The thing about Enchant Crown is that you have to draw it at the same time as one of these other cards, but I think I can build toward that, because I can now try to draft a really powerful card. And we're going to take the Tiny House, which is just everything gets a little bit better. You gain 1 potion, 50 souls, raise your max HP by 5, obtain 1 card, upgrade 1 random card. And Technical Jig to get a power. Now to the city. We've broken 2 of these. I can break the 3rd one here. Let's do this area. Break Sapphire. Now we're up to 91 max. And what happens if I... Okay, so if I upgrade you, you cost 0, which means the even if I used Enchant Crown on a 1-cost card, I would be net positive on energy. So that's good to know. This becomes innate, which is very handy. Innate says you start every combat with that in your hand, because whenever you trigger a stance, trigger skill bonus twice. That has served me very well, so let's do it. Cursed Liquid Potion. Apply 2 week. I guess. I don't know if this is for me or for an enemy, but we'll find out. Streaming means that I take risks that I otherwise wouldn't, because I'm curious to see what things look like and discover how it functions with all of you. So, okay, I do throw it at an enemy. Apply 2 weak, 2 vulnerable, and reduce strength. So I'm going to use a bunch of skills and buff up my Murder Strike here. And then we go into Berserker, and now we go into Backstep, and we have all of this block, and we get the Vigor, which we put on the attack there. And now Murder Strike is 15 damage. But these enemies, because they're flyers, they take 50% attack damage, which means if I attack for 20, they're only going to take 10. So we're going to Enchant Crown and make Murder Strike 0. And then we do still need to block, so we're going to Battle Plan, get rid of that. We're going to 13 block, 12 counter, and 1 blur. So this is 10 damage, 15 damage, 20 damage. I have 3 block right now. That would take me to 16 block. But I don't have anything that would give me more block. So I can play Adrenal Armor or Hold Firm. And using a skill is good here because that will make my Murder Strike even a little bit stronger. But let's do the armor. and then get rid of you, and then attack you, and get rid of you. And so because I have this Gremlin Horn, every time an enemy dies, I gain an energy and draw a card, which is very handy. So now I can switch into Berserker, and now I use Execute, which does 19 damage twice, but that damage gets halved. So they are still alive. Yep, flyers are very annoying, but we came through that looking pretty good. I'm going to take Refreshment, because that's worked very nicely for me in the past. Alright, so we are in defensive to start. Under defensive, we would just draw a bunch of cards, and Regret is in there somewhere, so I don't know that I want to draw that much more right now. Do Technical Jig just to start. I do think it's time to use this. So, Berserker, Berserker, Adrenal Armor, Hold Firm. So Blur means that I don't lose my block at the end of the turn, so I'll take the 10 there and I'll still have 25 armor left. And now I've built up a huge attack. And they're going to take 15 damage back from my counter. So the champ, I think, is pretty strong. And part of that is just that I understand, I've reached the point where I understand how to make the champ work. So Shiv, and that. So I will not lose the rest of this block, but 2 turns of not taking damage is very handy. So we're going to make Execute free, and then we're going to go defensive here, and then do that twice. This. Now 13 damage is not enough to defeat them, but it gets very close, and I have enough block to not take damage. And there's the counter. Crownerang. I'm not going to take any of these. I'm at 21 cards, maybe 1 or 2 more very handy cards, and then getting rid of some other cards that are not, getting rid of the curse would be good. Just going to gain a bunch of energy. I'm going to do block. I'm going to get rid of that normal strike. We're going to get more vigor, and then we're going to do that, and a Shiv, and now an attack. So good, very good round of damage. Now they get a bunch of block, and they're going to attack for 15. Still the Berserker. So if I could go into defensive, then I'd be able to maybe rack up some block here. This looks like my best option for block. $16 damage, yeah. Do not break their block, and I will take 2 out of this attack, which is not too bad. And they take 12 back on the counter. Okay, Enchant Crown is not really doing anything here. But I guess I'll play it just to kind of have it get out of the way. They're going to steal some more of my souls, which is the currency, and then they're going to leave this turn. Yep. So I want to put as much damage on them as I can. That, into this, and defend. Now hit for 23 twice, and then an 8, and then regret only takes 1. And now they run away. So having vanquished them, the heart emerges and lets me buy stuff. If the last card played was a finisher, okay. I actually do need another finisher, which means I'm not going to take any of those. So right now all I have is Execute. So I want another finisher if I can. None of these are finishers. So I'm just gonna get rid of regret out of my life. Thank you. No regrets. It's the Book of Stabbing. Technical jig. I do want that block. And that's enough defense. Then Crystal Shiv for a hit. $21 damage this time. So I'm gonna execute, and that gives me a good chunk of block. And I go back to here. I have one. I have an, oh, actually I do want more block. And then hit you. So this pen nib says my next attack is gonna do double damage. So I need to remember to use a more powerful attack if I can. Let's make a battle plan and get rid of the normal attack. And we're going to say that Murder Strike is free, and then we're going to spend 2 there, so that we have enough block, and now we can hit with the Murder Strike for double, and follow it up with a good Shiv for good measure. Take just a little bit of damage there. So they do, like, their damage is very good. Defensive. Yep, let's do that. And then switch, and then switch, and then switch, and block, and attack. So we'll take some more damage here, unfortunately. We did not have quite enough counter to just straight up kill the Book of Stabbing in that hit. One attack is done. In this game, I always try to check, or when I'm doing a good job, I check, can I just kill them without having to do fancy stuff? Deal 6 damage 5 times, costs 1 less energy for each finisher played this combat, and it is a finisher. So I cannot play this. I have to have played 2 finishers before I can use Devastate. Kind of wish Hold Firm was a finisher. Well, there's a decent chance I will get something that will give me bonus energy. So I'm going to take Devastate as an investment and hope to not regret it. Akabeko, your first attack, each combat deals 8 additional damage. That can be handy when you also have Vigor. We're pretty good on health. What happens if it's 9, okay, it just increases the damage. All right, we're gonna improve the defensive shout. Just kind of improve our baseline. Gain a bunch of souls and lose hit points, or gain pride. At the end of your turn, put a copy of this card on top of your draw pile. So the pride kind of just fills up your hand, so you can't do other things. Or you can't do anything, because playing pride doesn't do anything. I guess if it's in your hand, that doesn't sound great. I don't want to lose those hit souls, so actually I'm just going to do nothing. Now what to upgrade? It scales up better, is what that one does. This one gives you more benefits. That becomes free. Yeah, let's increase the block and counter on Hold Firm. We only have 45, so going to the merchant doesn't really do us much good there. We'd have to kill the merchant and get all of the souls, which I don't know that we can do in one more hit. Okay. Technical jig. And let's say that Precise Thrust becomes free. I'm going to play Backstep to use to get that Vigor bonus. and defensive shout. I'm going to hit you there, and I'm going to hit you again. Not quite, did not have a third hit to make them fall over. So the fly has stacks. Oh, because I killed you with counter. Ah, that does put me up to 4 this turn, right? Oh, I don't get to carry the energy over. That's a bummer. Alright, so I'm going to do this, which then means that execute gets stronger. And then a crystal shiv. And now I get to pen nib. And Murder Strike is still in my hand because it has retain. This hex says whenever you play a non-attack card, shuffle 1 dazed into your draw pile. So dazed are just cards that take up space. But they're not attacking this turn. Yeah, I'm just gonna do all attacks. Not take any dazes into my hand or into my deck. Because 21 damage, there's a good chance that I can do 21 damage this turn. I don't need that. So Devastate is only down to 4, unfortunately. But now I can do that. And then, unfortunately, that's only 6 damage. So I have to block. The counter will kill them, but I'm going to take some health damage. Numbers did not quite add up to get out of that without taking the hit. Alright, so this is a finisher, and I want it. It's a more defensive-oriented finisher, but it makes the big 5-cost one much more feasible, because I have other things that give me options to do finisher. So I do bring it on here. It gets me strength. I gain some defense. I do bob and weave. I gain a bunch of vigor. And then I hit for a nice big chunk. I will take some more damage here. And I'm going to go ahead and use that fountain liquid on you now. I'm going to say that execute becomes free. Hit you twice. Oh, you're at so little, so I'll just finish you. Crown ring, precise thrust. Can block for every enemy hit. Pass. At 22 cards, I want I want it to be really great, like really powerful if I'm gonna take it. Cultist potion. Oh no, gremlins! So there's Devastate. I can Technical Jig. I can bring it on. I can do that. I have lots of defense, which means I can take you out. And then do Encircle. And then I use the Shiv on you, and I get energy again. And then I get that, which gives me more vigor. So I want to play probably one more finisher by the time Devastate comes back to have a decent chance of using it. Speaking of which, and then defense, battle plan, throw out the normal strike, hit you with a Shiv, hit you with a strike. And now they're going to summon more gremlins, which makes me glad to have that attack that hits everybody. So we're going to make the Murder Strike free, and then do armor, and 11 damage to you. Go ahead and take you out, and then 8 damage to you. So we're going to get 35 counter, which means this gremlin is going to get KO'd when they attack me. Suppose that tongue click is probably spikes my audio, and I don't want to do that. 8 damage 3 times. But let's do that. So we're gonna berserk. Oh, I don't have the energy for it anymore. Womp womp. Berserk. And then just hit for 25 twice, which is pretty good. More gremlins. Unfortunately, I think your time may be near at an end there, gremlin boss. So you have 11 left. We do defense, then we get a bunch of defense, and then I kill you, and then I attack you. You're gonna do 9. I have block, so I do not care. This is the sneaky gremlin, who's one of my favorites. And we can just defeat them with a Mordstricken. The Murder Strike. So there is a technique that is the Murder Strike in German, late medieval and Renaissance martial arts. First time you use a finisher each turn, gain an energy and draw 1 card. Or deal 15 damage to all enemies, gain vigor, and exhaust that attack. The Mordstricken, you take a longsword and you flip it around and grab it by the blade, and then you smush someone's head with the crossguard. It's very gross / powerful. Let's do the Dancing Master. I fancy myself a Dancing Master of the fencing variety. I wouldn't claim a Meister title though, but Dancing Master is a fun thing. Fun bit. Let's get rid of that. Let's do our technical jig. So this enemy is annoying. They will confuse me, which makes all of my cards cost different amounts than they should. So we're going to do a finisher here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a random attack. Oh, cool. So cheap shot stuns an enemy, so they don't do anything this turn. And then I hit them. And I just get... Oh, yeah. Using that is good because it increases my amount of counter. So I delay them from doing their annoying thing for at least 1 turn. Oh, the Enchant Crown on Devastate would be pretty great. I now realize. All right, let's wait on this. And then we get defensive. And then hit you for 20. Hit you for 5. Go ahead and use this. It's now down to 46. Which maybe I can finish you next turn, depends on how my confused hands ends up. The Devastate probably becomes cheaper, but look at this, 2, 3, 3, 1. This one should cost 1, this should cost 1, this should cost 1. Everything got more expensive, which is not good. I can muddle those again with that potion, and that's very handy. Get me some block, get some block. I have 8 again, anyway. So, down to 6. But you also tail whip me. That counter defeats you. Right on. None of those. Now the Silent. This might be the roughest boss because at the start of each turn, a mirror image of the Silent will hide her real location. The attacking Silent or the mirror removes it from combat for the turn. So you have to waste a hit. Burn cards. All right. We're going to do the ritual here, which means that every turn we gain 1 strength. And then the first time I use a finisher, I'm going to get that. 16, 16, technical jig. Yeah, doing all that setup is worth it. All the things that give me bonuses for the whole fight. So they did that as well. whenever they play a card, they gain 1 block, so they're always going to have this like extra little reserve of block from doing stuff. Don't have anything that lets me attack the whole world, but I do have my Crystal Shiv, so I managed to hit them. We're going to gain block. We're going to do this, and then you're going to do 14. I'm going to do, well, I don't get to do execute if I do the bob and weave, so let's go ahead and do the attack. Murder Strike. Let's get rid of that normal defend. And enter that. 14 counter. But they'll have some block by the time they do it. So yeah, they just get the mirror image every turn forever. Alright. Doing that counter will gain a strength, which is handy. Defense increased by vigor is pretty great. And we do Crystal Shiv. It did hit the right person, which is very nice. Because I had all that vigor built up. Okay, so Crystal Shiv. And then Battle Plan. Yeah, I'll keep those. And Enchant Crown on the Murder Strike so that I can just use it for free. And then we'll do that, which gives me some defense. I attack again. I will take a good chunk because that's 6 by 5. More dexterity for them is not great for me because they're already tricky enough to get damage on. But having that Crystal Shiv is, does make a big difference here because I have basically an attack to throw away for free. Temporary strength on the execute is good. And we're going to go back into stance. This gets rough because they use the fantasy drug to gain strength, and then their attacks start doing just scary amounts of damage. So, Berserker Shout, Defensive Shout, Backstep. Encircle means I'm always going to hit the real enemy, even if I theoretically guessed wrong. So, having at least one thing in my deck that attacks all enemies is very handy against the Silent, and is often handy in other situations. But there are some enemies where they punish you if you attack them. So now Devastate costs all of 1 and gives me a bunch of block, which sounds pretty great. But first, I don't have any vigor, so I need to make sure to not attack the wrong enemy. Cool. I'm down to 44, and I've got all that block. I'm not in combo, so we're just going to do normal attacks. Yep, if I had one more normal attack, I might have been able to finish them. So we gain some energy. I gain a bunch of block. But I think my chances of finishing them off are pretty good. Which is good because that's a lot of damage coming in. Hey! Right on. Potion and Gladiator form. At the start of each turn, gain 1 vigor for every 3 vigor spent last turn, then do the same to counter, but it costs 3. Enchant Shield, choose card, increase its block. Yeah, let's do Ultimate Stance. So don't discard your hand. Add energy. Alright, I'm going to take this, which gives me relics. The Curse of the Bell just kind of will hold up a slot in my hand, but then I get 3 items. This is not great because I don't think they have indigenous people on the team. This is not a toy. This is like a sacred religious thing. Don't be one of a small number of things about this I don't like. So we have 521 souls. Let's go to the shop. upgrade. Devastate, more attack. 3 turns on that is pretty cool. This one costs 1. That I like. Now, how many hit points do you have left? 214. I may not be able to beat you this time. So let's do this, and then this, and then this. Oh, I have to be in a stance, and then I can get super stance. Okay, understood. So, ultimate stance is both defensive stance and berserker stance. That's why it looks different. And we get both bonuses, which is pretty great. Armor. More block. Hit you for that. And that. So we only take 1 off of that and hit back for 59. Which is a lot of counter. Okay. Berserker stance. Battle plan. Devastate. I will get to use it next turn, which is pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to hit you with that twice. Oh no, I drew it. Didn't want to draw it this turn. Yeah, well, could have known. We have one of these, one of these, one of those. I'll get to use Devastate one of these days. I guess I've used it once. Or you'll remember that he existed. Attack, attack. More Vigor. Attack, attack, attack. Not quite. Didn't quite get him. Next time, merchant. I will sword you for the last time. No, skip all that. 25 cards. Feeling pretty good. I will, however, get rid of... what do I want to get rid of? Probably just a normal strike. And then... oh yeah, I definitely want that. So every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 strength. I'm often playing 3 attacks in 1 turn, especially with this Shiv. Gain dexterity at the end of each turn, gain block. That's just very good. Could have spent things differently and gotten quick study, which gives me boss cards. Boss cards are very powerful. And let's take the Iron Fortress and Soulburn Potion. So these are the enemies that punish you when attacked. When attacked, deal 3 damage back, and then they can increase their thorns amount. Okay, scry. Get rid of normal strike. We get some counter. 16 damage. See if I can take you out. I can. So, less damage coming in. I get a bonus. I do Dancing Master. Then you're going to do 7, which means that I can attack you and not be in trouble when I get spiked. And then you're going to take 14 from my counter. Okay, cool, I can do this. So, counter, which gives me strength. I bob and weave. And then I ultimate stance. And then I guess I should improve this one. And then I hit you with the Crystal Shiv. wrong order. It's fine. So you go up to 7, and then you go up to 5. But you're going to take 24 from my counter, so I'm going to focus on you. First I need to gain block. And I'll gain block from that. So I can do 10 damage here. And I will get a bunch of vigor and so much counter. So I'll take a little bit of damage from this attack, but then defeat them with counter. Alright, so I need 9 block to not get wrecked there, and now I can do Devastate. Deals 35 damage 3 times. You are not in a stance. Womp womp. That's fine. I can do it another way. Deal 11 damage X, get block X times. That's pretty handy. Pile Driver, 14 damage, 2 vulnerable, 2 weak, and it's a finisher. So I have things that give me strength. I don't have a lot of things that give me more energy, though. One boss card. 6 damage to everybody 10 times. Invincible. So invincible is you cannot lose more than a given amount of HP in a single turn, but it only really lasts one time. I'm gonna go here. Remember to make my posture better so that I don't get sad. So, jig, dancing in the dark. I'm gonna give you soul burn so I can get another potion. I'm gonna thwap you with that. This enemy has strength up, so at the end of its turn it gains 3 strength, which means I do not want the fight to last very long, if I can avoid it. So, hit you like that. Did not get anything else that would give me hit points, or give me block, unfortunately. So, we're going to do that, which gives me at least a little bit. I hit you. So I'll be down to 70, but then they take that, and they have Soul Burn, which is going to hit them for 30 this turn. So I will be good. Doesn't matter. Berserker, lots of energy. Let's just destroy you and feel good about ourselves. Skip. Can rest here. Do I want to do that? No, I have more fires later on. 6 block a turn is much better. And, okay, so this is a very good combination. With Kunai, every time I play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 dexterity. These stack. So if I play 3 attacks in a single turn, I will both get 1 strength and 1 dexterity. Oh, that sounds... That's like 3 layers of annoying deeper now. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to do the counter. We're going to gain that. We're going to make the execute free. And we're going to hit you twice for 30 each time, and then again. But that execute only counts as one attack, so I don't get my dex or strength. So this turn they are intangible, so all damage taken and HP loss is reduced to 1 this turn, which means attacking them is not really worth a lot. So I gain some block, and then see, yeah, that's fine. Just only 1 each. So ultimate stance, which means I get cards and energy, and then just dance back and forth between all the things. We want block. And more block. And then I hit you for a big thing. That's, yeah. Did not get enough block. So I take a big hit here. Because counter does not hit until after the enemy has attacked. None of those are what I'm looking for. So amusingly, Rudnell, right as I saw your "it sounds like whose line" when they miss the swears with beeps, something out of my window was doing the backing up beeping thing. That was very funny. Dexterity, gain some jig, do this, gain more defense. And then just clear out everybody. Right on. Maybe I didn't need that defense. Oh well. You give block, but not enough, I think. No, I don't need that. I'm gonna go this way. Oh, if I had gone that way, I could have gotten a fire. I mean, I want to know what the reward is. Let's remove normal strike, and we're going to upgrade the crown. That's cool. Okay, so you only get one of those benefits. So we get this, then we get that, which gives us all of the benefits. We do one of these. We're gonna do a bunch of damage and get some bonuses. Then we go into this stance, which gives us even more things. Just look at all that stack up. Then we hit you like that. Which makes me both frail and weakened. Now they're gonna do a big attack. So block. Let's actually do this to get some more defense. Battle plan for more block. Get rid of that. And that. So I will take 10 more, which is not great, considering how many hit points I have. Right, they are not attacking this turn, so I do need to go all out. Right, this will do more damage than the other one. 18, 16, so first step is, can I not die? Gain some block from that. Normal attack and a shiv. So I will go down to 12 hit points. Right. So, don't have anything that will gain me. Let's get rid of that burn. Bring it on, bring it on. Alright, so we do have the block for this, so we can pop, 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 pop. And then we go into that. We get a big damage bonus. And they're at 22. I would really like to hit them before they hit me for 31. Hey look, it's Devastate. Finally got to use it again. Crown Rang, no. This being a finisher makes me not excited about that. But I may be too, maybe being too picky. So they're not attacking me here. And if I do Dancing Master and then bring it on, I will get the stuff, I get the energy back. And then I can do this. And hit you because you're not attacking me, and so that block can just protect me against your spikies. I have what is effectively, if not in reality, final art for the reissue of Geekomancy that I'm doing this summer, which I'm very excited about, and I think once I clear it with the designer, I will figure out where and how I want to do that cover reveal. I will then have several more cover reveals throughout the summer because my plan is to reissue Geekomancy, Celebromancy, Attack the Geek, Hexamancy, and then do a collected edition, which may just be ebook because it's a lot. And they're all going to have art, so I will have lots of fun art to share this year, and that is cool. Blocky, blocky. All enemies 4 times, so that I would need 20 block for that to work the way that I would like it to. Okay, but that, yeah, that's not going to happen this turn. Okay, let's just get enough block to not die, which maybe doesn't happen here, actually. Yeah, none of this matters, right? All right, so that gets you. All right, now we're okay. Ooh, got that one. Killing one of those spiky enemies with counter is very nice because I don't have to take this thorns damage. I do get all bonuses from this. That's very nice. Right, so I get the block. But I go back into that, so I get both of the damage bonus and the defense bonus. 21. That, and now this is going to be very powerful for next turn. And then, 1 hit point left. Counter will get you. Alright, I'm going to take this back step even if it's not necessarily optimal because I really need more block. It'd be very funny if I died to the merchant here because of like card stuff not lining up the way that I want it to. Jig, Dancing Master, and then just... Cool, not a problem. Nope, I will skip those. And now I can buy many things. Upgrade attacks. Do I have attacks that are worth upgrading? I do. Devastate. Yeah. So that's pretty handy. Strike through the 3rd turn, get block. That's pretty cool. Defensive. I already got one of those. So yeah, I'm just gonna... Those are nice things to upgrade. I need some hit points. Enraged, bash. No. I could get a panacea. No. Keep deck discipline. Yeah, so I'm not going to get a chance to gain hit points before I get to the boss, which makes me think I may lose. So we are a defensive stance. If I execute on you, now I have lots of block. And I defensive stance again. But I don't get vigor, because that would just let me draw cards, which is not doing a whole lot. And I'm going to attack you, and that does give me defense, or strength and dexterity. So in this mod, the end boss is the whale that gives you bonuses when you're in the normal mode. And the heart is my character's kind of patron. So it's flipped around. 14 and 13. So if I do 6 damage here to you, then I'm good. I want that vigor just in case, and then I get rid of you. Now I have 2, which means I can play this power. Right, and I believe I can do this. Yep, cool. So I will have a big old 12 hit points going into this boss fight. 17 hit points. Alright, so what's your deal? The Watcher gains 1 mantra whenever you play a card. Watcher loses 5 mantra at the beginning of her turn. Watcher does not exit Divinity at the end of her turn. So Divinity is a powerful stance that makes them very scary. Plated armor is not great because that will give them a defensive return, but they will gain frail. They're going to get lots of block on their 3rd turn. They get plated armor, so they're going to have a lot of plated armor. They're going to receive less attack damage on the margins. Okay. Just looking at my hand. Do I think I can... Yeah, I want to get it. I will want to get at least 1 hit off this turn, but I don't know that I want to use my vulnerable. Well, you start with vulnerable, so I can wait on that. Berserker Shout. I'm going to gain that. And then I'm just going to hit you for 22. And now I didn't get you up past 5, so you're going to lose all of it. So if the Watcher gets to 10 mantra, they're going to get the special Divinity stance, which is very bad for me. But this kind of fleeting faith thing is kind of a soft cap on the number of cards that I can use each turn if I want to keep her out of mantra. Yeah. All right, so we're going to hit you twice more. So every time I hit them and they have no block, they lose 1 of their plated armor, which is really good for me because they gain free block every turn equal to the amount of plated armor they have. So now they're down from 10 to 5. Or her. They actually give the pronouns for this character. They, the enemy, versus, 30 damage. Alright, let's not take 30 damage. Let's do what we can to not take 30 damage. Let's make Hold Firm free. Yes, please. Don't have vigor here. Alright, still only 5 attacks. So they're going back down to 0. And I will not take damage from the signature move. They do get this big block. They're going to get a nice, powerful expunger attack that shows up not quite yet. 14 damage. Okay. So I can do this. And then I can do this, which gives me energy and more cards. And that's very handy. And I do that. Which means that then I have the block, and I can do 22 damage 4 times, which is very nice. That's 4 cards. Let's just hit you again for 6. I will go ahead and scry. No, I only have 1 card left in my deck, so that scry was not especially useful. So they're going to be back to a mantra of 1, which means if I can play just 4 cards this turn, that would be great. If not, just got to keep an eye on it. 9 by 3, so I need a lot of block. Let's make you vulnerable. I think I probably need this. So we're going to go to Defensive Shout. We're going to gain some block. We're going to gain some more block. 35, so that is 27, 32, okay. Okay. And you'll hit you back for 41. And now you gain 2 mantra every turn, so this means that I really need to take the enemy out quickly because it's as if I played 2 more cards, right? Because if I play 7 cards, they're going to get their super special bonus, which is not great. 1. Defensive, which is good. 52 damage. Another 10 damage. Okay. You're going to go down to 2. I should be able to do this? Question mark? Yes. Okay. We did not lose any hit points, in fact. Thump, thump, thump. The comforting heartbeat can be felt throughout the room. Are you at the end? Is your purpose fulfilled? You feel something evil at your very core. You give 901 souls back to the heart. The heart squirms in elation, pounding forevermore. So, because I broke all of the gems, then I can approach the door and go to the last area. That is very difficult. Very, very difficult. The ending. So, I do an elite fight, and then I get to shop if I survive, and then I get 1 fireplace. This is going to be... So, this enemy gave me all those nasty bits, and now I have to fight 3 bosses at once. 3 different hero characters. I don't know that each of these is as strong as their individual boss version, but it's still rough. And I have no potions left. So, if I do this, and then I get some block, then I do a battle plan and get rid of Haunted. Then I can see 7, 9, yeah, do this, get lots more bonuses, and attack you. So it's going to be 12 counter against the Silent. Now they all have block. And the enemy will heal one of the... This boss will heal one of my enemies every turn, which is rough. Okay, so... Ultimate Stance, all the bonuses. Gain things. Just gonna take it on the chin this turn. But I do get those bonus cards. But okay, buddy. That was just my neck cracking. Everything is fine. Oreo leaps to my defense against bodies. How bodies work. Alright. So I get to use a finisher, get both of these bonuses. Special, special. I want to get rid of you. Okay. Because I get all the bonuses. And is that really the best other thing that I have? I guess it is. Crystal Shiv. Defensive. And I guess I will go ahead and use this here. Just because the enemy's giving me so much junk in my hand that I don't want. I want to slim down my deck otherwise as much as I can. It was my neck. Often when I'm playing and streaming, I am not using good posture, which is why I may want to end up getting a gamer chair, aka just a chair that has a headrest, so that I can actually lean back against it instead of what I tend to do, which is do this where my head is a little bit down, and that's not great for me. That's a lot of damage coming in. So first, stance. Big attacks. Dead enemy is very good for me. Some block. Encircle attack is good. Do that. Bonus, all the bonuses up, but I will take some big hits. I'll take 20 health. Plus a little bit. No, 20 total, just math. Now I'm vulnerable, frail, and weakened. Cool. Don't have a, I'm not in a stance, so I don't get to do that. There's Berserker. Guardian Wheel requires 10 block, and I don't have 10 block. If I spend 1, I will not have enough for Guardian Wheel. So, I think it's time to start using this. Oh yeah, I can see that with the molded shape. Yeah, I do move around in my chair a lot as well. That's a lot of damage. Everything becomes ethereal. Cool, 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 cool. I wish I was in defensive, because then I could get some block. And 22 block. I think that's what I want. And a good chunk of counter. So that's 30 damage, and that's another 22. And now I have all the statuses again. 22 by 2. I don't know that I can do 72 damage this turn, unfortunately. Nope. I guess I don't know what the descriptor manager's chair means. It's not I'm not familiar with that as a chair furniture term. Scry. I mean, I don't know that it matters because I may be doomed. Well, maybe not. So that kills you. And then I get all of this. And then I get a bunch of block. And then I hit you. So 36 damage. I will be okay for this turn. Stop making me sad. 60 damage coming in. I don't know that I can do enough damage. That's only 25. 25 plus 16. See, so you're doing 60 damage. I won't die. Oh, maybe not. I will. No. I will have a few hit points left. 9 HP. I cannot buy HP. In all likelihood. Ultimate stance, damage. So I'm going to take these two. And then I will heal. It's not a lot. I will skip those. And now the end boss, Meow himself. So they heal 2 hit points every time I play a card. When the enemy uses buff, they're going to gain 6 strength and 1 demon form, which means that they're going to gain strength every turn. That's very rough. And they can lose a max of 250 HP each turn. So get the jig. Actually, I should play a bunch of all the preparatory cards that I need to first, because they cannot gain any more hit points right now. Which means that I can do all this kind of prep for free. No, that's all the prep I need to do. Might as well use this because might as well use this. Come on. It also gives me some heals. Well, that one artifact saved me from something annoying. Okay. Hit you there, hit you there. Void. No block, unfortunately. The void will cost me energy. Much block. Big hits. I will take a little bit here on that 3rd hit. Yep. I want to get rid of that. Yes, thank you very much. And I will go ahead and take that strength. And I'm not in a stance. But I guess I'll get there and then hit you. Not a great turn for me. So now they're going to gain 1 strength every turn. Make this free, which would be great. I'm going to hit you several times. Do all of this stuff. Hit you for that. And then those haunteds go away, which is great. I do get flawed. Your strength is just going up. That's very bad. Okay, but I think I can play basically everything else. Go into Berserker. That. bunch of block. Gain some more block. Hit you. So my Devastate is going to get turned into something bad, which is a bummer. Okay, 14 hit points left. They have 540 and are gaining strength every turn. Alright, ultimate stance. Battle plan. Get rid of Vicky. Precise thrust. Give me everything useful. Execute. Give me both of the bonuses. Murder strike. And a crystal shiv. Just for good measure. Some good damage. Maybe not enough. Maybe it will be enough. You gave yourself too much of everything. Oof. Rough, rough, rough. I don't think there's any way that we can gain enough block to survive this. 99 damage. 9 block, temporary strength. Vigor, this is improved by Vigor, so let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do that. 38. Hit you with a shiv just because I don't want to go down without doing everything I can. Yep, so that's good night. But a pretty good run. Alright, so you can also play as the Hermit. That's Oreo. Ear waggling. Hello, buddy. Yes, Oreo does in fact. He's making an executive request as my supervisor that I take him into the world so that he can see things and do his business. Which means that we will have come to the end of this stream.